It's Avalugg, but now it's on the Game Boy. So, because my first video I ever made for this channel was on Avalugg, I decided, hey, why not beat a Pokemon game with only Avalugg for my 1000 sub special? Well, what game to choose? At first I thought Pokemon X or Y, because that's the game Avalugg originates from. But then, I had an even worse idea. Why not use Avalugg in the very first Pokemon game ever? So I decided to just add Avalugg to Generation 1, and after adding some coding, Avalugg was in Generation 1. I didn't add Bergmite though, because this is an Avalugg only run, not a Bergmite and Avalugg run. I also decided to add some more moves. So after some more coding, I added Icy Wind, Powder Snow, Iron Defense, and Rapid Spin, though I couldn't get Rapid Spin to deal any damage. Also, I averaged Avalugg's special defense and special attack together, though it's not very important as they are only 2 stat units apart. I also added a Pokédex description that you should follow, as it gives very good advice. And because I wasn't able to fully figure out how to properly decompress one of the game's memory banks, some of the sprites are corrupted. It's not too big of an issue. So, without farther ado, let's see if you can beat Pokemon Blue with only Avalugg. So first, rules. No items in battle, and I'm going to try to avoid over-leveling and all that. Though, because I only have Avalugg, over-leveling will inevitably happen. To begin, I name myself Blip, and name my rival after Avalugg's greatest enemy, Game Freak. And with that, I select Avalugg as my starter, and Game Freak challenges me to a fight. Avalugg unsurprisingly mops the floor with Charmander, being a fully evolved Pokemon and all that. So first things first, I head over to Pewter City Gym to challenge Brock. I wasn't too worried about Brock, as Powder Snow was super effective against Brock's Pokemon and was a special attack. Brock's Pokemon were also all physical attackers, and Avalugg has great defense. It can boost its defense even farther with Harden. I was a little worried about Onix's Bide, though it turns out it lasts for 2 turns, not 1, and I was able to easily defeat Brock. Misty was a much more difficult gym leader, as her Staryu and Starmie have special moves, allowing them to exploit Avalugg's pitiful special stat. My second time fighting Misty, I got very lucky getting a freeze on Staryu. In Generation 1, freeze is permanent, meaning it will not only guarantee a KO, but also give me a great opportunity to set up on my opponent. I use Harden here, not because of the defense boost, but because of a glitch in Generation 1, called the Badge Boost glitch, in which anytime a stat of yours is raised or lowered, the gym leader's badge boost is reapplied. By doing this, I gain more attack, to hopefully one-hit KO Starmie. Unfortunately, Starmie still KOs Avalugg. I would have gone for a third attempt, but I accidentally start a rival fight. Fortunately, I can abuse the fact that the rival's Abra only knows Teleport, and use Harden up to 6+ defense, and minor attack boost because of Badge Boost glitch. This allows Avalugg to one-hit KO the rest of the rival's team. I then proceed to decimate Nugget Bridge, help rescue Bill, and then return to rematch Misty. Unfortunately, we don't get the freeze on Staryu, but by using Bite, we manage to KO Starmie and narrowly get the gym badge. A little later, Avalugg gains Iron Defense. I accidentally removed Tackle instead of Harden, and looking back after finishing the run, Harden was probably better than Iron Defense, because Avalugg has such good defense already, and Harden would allow for more activations of Badge Boost glitch. For the next rival fight, I can easily set up Iron Defenses on Pidgeotto, and while the Kadabra and Charmeleon almost take out Avalugg, it manages to survive. I then pick up a Spearow and a Sandshrew to use as HM slaves. Then it's off to the Electric Gym, where I endure one of the most infuriating puzzles in this entire game. During one of the gym battles, Avalugg learns Recover, which will be a fairly useful move for this playthrough, in large part because it has a massive number of power points in Generation 1. I then begin the Lieutenant Surge fight, not having healed my Avalugg, because healing is for nerds. Everything seems to be going pretty well, until Surge's Raichu one-hit KOs Avalugg with a crit Thunderbolt. I then go in for another round, only to be crit once more. However, I managed to get a crit as well, meaning both of us are one hit away from fainting. And spectacularly, Raichu went for Growl, meaning I get the win. Next up is another rival fight, which Avalugg easily destroys. And look, it's one of those corrupted sprites I was talking about.
Now pay close attention to that.
Poke doll.
'Cause it's not the last time you're gonna see that
Poke doll.
in the story.
Next up is Erica, and this was a painful fight. I start off getting poisoned, and then Victory Bell decides to spam Wrap. This normally wouldn't be an issue, but this isn't normal. This is Generation 1. In Generation 1, Wrap prevents you from moving at all. You simply have to wait and hope the opponent misses it, while it slowly chips away at your health. This is made even worse by the fact that Avalugg is incredibly slow, meaning it is very easy for Wrap to KO Avalugg before I can move even once. Poison farther adds to this, and by the time I finish Victory Bell off, Avalugg is one hit away from death. Fortunately, I can recover, though Tangela then uses Constrict to lower my speed, into then using Bind to continue chipping away at Avalugg's health. Fortunately, Erica's last Pokemon is Vileplume, who has committed significantly less war crimes than her other two Pokemon, meaning I now have another gym badge. Now that I'm back at Lavender Town and fighting all the channelers, I'm realizing that Avalugg is really starting to suck. At the start of the game, it just had such good stats that it was fantastic. But now, even Ghastlies are giving me trouble, though Ghastly is a pretty good Pokemon.
Of course!
Poke doll.
See? There's that
Poke doll.
again.
Next up is Master Koga, just Koga, who I go against using a poisoned Avalugg at half health, cause healing is for nerds. Coughing starts off by using Smokescreen, which normally isn't an issue, at least when you can switch between your Pokemon. Notice the problem? Unfortunately, Avalugg's accuracy is dropped to pretty much 0, where a Muck can then minimize. Avalugg ends up needing to use Struggle to take Muck out, in which Poison and Coughing finish Avalugg out. To help avoid accuracy drops the second time, I don't go for a starting Iron Defense, and just try to sweep Koga as quickly as possible. Fortunately, Blizzard lands and I manage to KO the Muck. Even with the accuracy drops, I manage to take out the Coughing, and then the Wheezing self-destructs on Avalugg, and deals almost no damage. Next, I go to the Safari Zone to get the HMs for Strength and Surf. I then defy authority and steal a bike to get on Cycling Road, which is all for nothing because it turns out the HM for Fly is above Cycling Road, not on it. Oh well. I end up in a battle against Ditto, where the most epic battle of all time occurs, where I end up freezing a block of ice to death, as you do. I ride a Tentacruel to Cinnabar Island, where I complete the incredibly tedious Pokemon Mansion, and then challenge the gym leader, Blaine. I once again haven't healed, and Iron Defense up for Badge Boost Glitch to activate, which at this point will boost every stat. I easily KO Growlithe, and outspeed and KO Ponyta, where Rapidash then proceeds to outspeed and use Fire Spin, the bane of my existence. I barely managed to KO Rapidash, leaving Avalugg almost fainted. Arcanine fortunately misses a Fire Blast, only for Avalugg to KO itself from Double Edge. For the next round, Blaine starts with using 2 Super Potions right off the bat, just to make sure his Pokemon are completely ready to fight. I don't set up as many Iron Defenses this time, meaning the Ponyta outspeeds me, and guess what? It Fire Spins! I fortunately managed to KO Ponyta, and Rapidash fails to land Fire Spin. I go for Blizzard, which doesn't KO Arcanine. Avalugg falls to 2 health, and Avalugg then KOs itself with Double Edge, though I end up winning because I have other Pokemon in my party. You can say this doesn't count because the other Pokemon somehow contributed, but as far as I can tell, I saw no Pokemon other than Avalugg on my side, so I'm going to count this as a win. Next, I walk to Silphco, where I get to go through the very boring job of finding Giovanni. I end up fighting my rival, where Pidgeot Sand Attacks me, though because of both Sand Attack and Iron Defense, I can outspeed Pidgeot and sweep Blue's team, though with Avalugg at only 10 health remaining. The Giovanni fight was pretty easy. I just simply Iron Defensed up and swept the entire team. I was a little worried about this Sabrina fight at first, but it turns out I am very overleveled, so I set up and managed to sweep because Sabrina made the amazing choice of recovering a full health Pokemon. The last gym leader is a Giovanni rematch, where Blizzard and Iron Defense blitz through the team. Next is the supposedly infamous Rival Fivel fight, where Alakazam manages to wallop us with Psybeam, and Charizard KOs with a critical hit Flamethrower. The second attempt, I set up on Rhyhorn, as Rhyhorn can't do anything to Avalugg. I managed to survive a Charizard Flamethrower, but I failed to KO the Charizard with Double Edge, and KO myself instead. Seems to happen a lot with fire types. For the third attempt, I decided to change up my strategy a little bit. I decided to bring Double Team, but not for the evasion boost, but instead because I can click double team 6 times, as opposed to the 3 that I can click iron defense before my stats max out. Avalugg can then outspeed and one-hit KO everything on the rival's team. I purchased some full restores for the Elite Four and enter the Lorelei fight, where her sprite happens to be corrupted. The number of power points Avalugg has is going to be a major issue, as I can't double team for every round. Fortunately, I do have some TMs, so I can change out moves, and even restore moves that way. I also have a single elixir, and I'm not going to bother to pick up any more, unless I really have to. Against Lorelei, I first set up 3 double teams. That way I have more for the rest of the Elite Four. However, I can't break through Dugong due to its combination of Rest and Growl. I fortunately managed to defeat Dugong, but next comes Cloyster, who Avalugg does almost no damage to. I now realize I probably should have kept Powder Snow, as Blizzard has almost no power points. I do manage to KO it, but next comes Slowbro. Slowbro has Amnesia and Withdraw, allowing it to become nearly impossible to KO, though I do eventually KO it. Jinx isn't really able to do anything to Avalugg besides wasting valuable power points. However, by the time that Lapras comes out, Avalugg has no power points for any of its attacks, and I end up restarting the Elite Four run. And this time, I have a plan. If Lorelei is going to use defensive tactics, I have to use anti-defensive tactics. And such, I use Toxic. Rest on Dugong is annoying, but using Double Edge, I can still KO it. Cloyster and Slowbro fall to Toxic even easier, and Jinx is KO'd by a single Double Edge. The first Toxic against Lapras misses, and Lapras confuses Avalugg. However, on the next turn, I manage to get a Toxic off. Lapras, however, manages to paralyze Avalugg, and Avalugg hits itself in confusion, taking itself down to 40 HP, but fortunately, Toxic manages to KO Lapras. I thought Bruno was going to be easy going in, and how wrong I was. I replaced Double Edge with Takedown to get more power points. With the recoil and super effective moves, Avalugg got worn down in this fight very easily. After Hitmonlee lands 2 jump kicks, Avalugg is 1 hit away from being KO'd. Bruno sends out Machamp, and Blizzard doesn't 1-hit KO. But Machamp goes for Fissure, which doesn't affect my slightly overleveled Avalugg. I go for a Toxic, and Bruno repeatedly goes for X defense. Fortunately, Machamp misses a submission, and I narrowly live at 7 HP. Next is the Agatha fight, and either this or the final fight are the hardest by far in the entire run. With Avalugg's current moves, it can't damage any members of our team, so I change out some of Avalugg's moves using TM. I switch out Toxic for Rest for more recovery, and Blizzard for Surf to regain power points. Fortunately, Agatha goes for Dream Eater on the first turn, and then again on the second. Her Gengar then misses a Confuse Ray, and uses Dream Eater again. This allows me to boost my invasion even farther, and hit for a decently strong Surf, due to Badge Boost glitch. Fortunately, Agatha withdraws Gengar, letting me OHKO Golbat with Takedown, and then finish off her Gengar with Surf. Surf makes quick work of a Haunter, and I OHKO Arbok with Takedown. Gengar uses Dream Eater again, and then whiffs the Confuse Ray. And that's it, Agatha is defeated. And the last member of the Elite Four is Lance. I decided to use my only elixir here, which mainly restores the power points of Double Team. I've also switched Rest out for Blizzard, and Takedown out for Body Slam. Gyarados deals a solid amount off of Hyper Beam, and I use this to get off as many double teams as possible. Body Slam doesn't KO Gyarados, and Gyarados uses Dragon Rage, taking Avalugg down to 15 HP. However, Blizzard cleans up the rest of Lance's team. And now, we have the final fight of the game. The final rival fight. I heal up Avalugg, and challenge Game Freak. First, I set up as many double teams as I can, because Pidgeot can't do anything to Avalugg. Pidgeot copies Double Team, but Surf still KOs it. Alakazam does what every Alakazam has done, and uses Recover first, doing nothing. However, it survives a Body Slam, but misses a Psybeam, and Avalugg KOs. I Surf and Rhydon to KO, in Blizzard Executor, where Executor manages to survive. 2 Body Slams later, Executor is KO'd. With some evasion luck, Avalugg avoids Gyarados, KOing it. And lastly, there's Charizard. Unfortunately, Charizard has Fire Spin, the move that caused us trouble throughout this entire run. And there it is. Charizard lands a super effective Fire Spin. Avalugg's health slowly depletes, where then Charizard whiffs a Fire Blast, and there it is, victory is so close. I Surf, but Charizard survives the hit, only to miss another Fire Blast. And after one last Surf, it's all over. I've done it. Me and Avalugg are the new champions of Kanto. Well, thanks for watching. And also, thanks so much for getting this channel to 1,000 subs. Or at this point, 3,000. That's insane, and I can't wait to keep making more videos. Been a fun time doing this. So anyways, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm Blip Exists, and see you later.